Emergency Honolulu Fire Department.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Hadlock from Kahalu'u Fire Station, up the road, and we have our report for September's statistics. We had 2 nuisance fires, 1 activated alarm, 47 medical emergencies, 1 motor vehicle incident, and 1 hazardous materials incident. Last month, the fire tip for this month, with holiday season kind of upon us and all the people that decorate for holidays starting already, the tip is to consider fire-resistant, non-combustible decorations. Choose only Underwriter Laboratory UL-approved electrical decorations and follow the manufacturer's instructions for the installation and the load. Use lights that are in good shape. Always turn off the lights before you leave your home or go to bed. And do not overload power strips, surge protectors, and extension cords. Also, don't leave candles unattended, and secure any lighters and matches out of the reach from children. That's our tip for the month. Any questions from anyone?
What are hazardous materials as far as what you folks respond to? What would
Right,
that
hazmat,
entail?
I mean, it's a huge range of things from liquids, gases. Some of the more common ones would be either fuel or gas spills. So this one was a liquid gasoline odor that was handled.
Thank you. Board members in person, anything for HFD? Board members online, anything for HFD? Community in person? Community online? Seeing none. Mahalo HFD for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up on our agenda, we have Honolulu Police Department.
Good evening. My name is Lieutenant Akagi. I'm the watch commander out here for the Kaneohe District and Kahalu'u District. Online is Officer Brandon Cruz, and he'll be presenting the community stats for the month of September.
Okay, Officer Cruz, District 4 Community Policing Team. For auto thefts, this month 1, previous month had 3. Burglaries, 1 this month, 2 previously last month. Thefts, we had 4. Previous month we had 11. UMVs, we had 1. That's car break-ins. Previous month we had 9. And 0 robberies this month and last month. I'd like to say something about last week's statistics. I think I've been in this district for over 20 years now, and this is the first week we've had 0 reported auto thefts, burgs, thefts, UMVs, and robberies. So pretty good achievement. Any questions?
Questions? Uncle Art, you have something?
Yeah, last week we asked about how many police officers representing this district. And we were told that they were gonna give us some kind of answer.
Officers that, sorry,
Oh.
go ahead, LT.
On a nightly basis, we can have anywhere between 17 to 20 officers. That number will adjust depending on vacations and sick leave. But on the average night, we're somewhere around at least 17 to 18.
Board members in person, Uncle Dan, go ahead.
I understand that you folks got a pay raise, or at least the decision for a pay raise. Do you think that's going to help get more people to become police and also keep more police from retiring? I think it's a 17%. That's what the paper said. Over 4 years.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think it was 5% each year, so something like 20%. Hopefully, for the older, we really need to retain our officers that we have here in the department, because with retainment, they really we keep the knowledge and experience within the department to help service the community better. Yes, we do have to recruit. I agree with that. But just as much as recruitment, we need retainment, because we really need that knowledge and experience to stay in the department much longer than the 25 years. So hopefully, yes.
Board members online, anything for HPD? Community in person? Uncle Cliff, you got something? Can somebody give Uncle Cliff a microphone? Thank you.
Yeah. Let's go back with the e-bikes. It's a sad story because I seen them during the morning. I see this guy practice 2 kids on an e-bike from Ahuiman to come to this school. And I look at him, I said, hoping you get on road rash. I mean, that's not the way to think, but hey, let's face the music. You know, because I hear you guys not can do nothing. Not is what the rules are not enforceable. Because like even this evening, I look like, hey, this kid's riding e-bike down the road. No helmet, no nothing. Just this evening, just before the what 5:30, 6 o'clock. They all live up in the back roads. So if one come from the back road, one come from the front road, hey, you guys catch them. But all these e-bikes, they're like, I don't know where they're getting them from.
Thank
The
you.
parents.
Yeah.
So just touch base on that. The rules are enforceable. It's not as easy as just catch them. Yeah. So we try to do the best we can, but we take factors into, we got to take a lot of factors into consideration when we pursue these people. If we're placing the community in danger, or even the rider in danger, it's not worth it. They're going to get a citation or whatnot. So there's other tactics that we do try and use, but of course it takes a little bit more manpower and more strategy to enforce it. So we do run projects to enforce the e-bikes, but again, it's something that I think the department and the community would be able to work together. If you guys see your neighbors doing that, or the parents, tell them, hey, it's maybe something that not desirable for the community. Yeah.
Sorry, to add to that, Uncle Cliff. So we've had an influx of mopeds driving on the opposite side of the road into oncoming traffic, to myself specifically, coming down the dip on Kahikili Highway. I don't know what your folks' recommendation is for that, but something needs to be done.
We have done something to try and address those. I know we have certain vehicles, not only mopeds, but motorcycles. I don't know what the kids call it nowadays, but it seems to be a trend that's picking up. But we are doing certain things to try and tamper that down. Yeah. But again, we ask as a department that if that's your children, to kind of have a talk with them, because they are not only placing their lives in danger, but then other members in the community in danger. It could cause a big accident.
Thank you so much, Uncle. Dan, you got one more?
Just an easy one. What do you want us to do as citizens? Like this afternoon at 3, a couple kids on Huimano Place doing wheelies with Vespas, very loud. You want us to photograph them? What's your pleasure? How do we help you?
If you see something, just report it. And then we'll take the calls in and we'll look at it, and whatever strategy we can come up, we'll try and address it appropriately.
Thank you. Community online, anything for HPD? Seeing none. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Moving on in our agenda, we have a filling of a vacancy on the board. We only have one vacancy now, since we filled one in sub 6 with Ku'upoli last month. So if you live up behind the Times Supermarket in that Hui'iwa area of Temple Valley, please let us know, or if you're interested or know anybody who's interested in joining the board, and come down and see us next month, or email in to Rachel at the NCO office. Moving on to election of officers, we have a second vice chair position that we were discussing whether or not we should fill. At this point, I think it's necessary, as chair has been busy the past few months and I've had to sit in for him. So it is pertinent that I have someone to sit in for me if we're both unable to attend a meeting. So I would really like board members to consider how weighted that responsibility is. And if you can kokua, chair and I would appreciate it. And please put your name in the hat for next meeting. Moving on to city, state, and federal reports, Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Warren Mamizuka.
Hello and good evening, Warren Mamizuka, the Deputy Director for the Department of Facility Maintenance. I just want to start off with, this month's Mayor's newsletter. If Rachel, if you could put the link online, please, on the chat. Yeah. There's a few interesting stories, so, when you guys have time, please take a look at it. All right, thank you. Okay, moving on, departmental issues. So last month we had like 7 issues that was brought up, so it's quite a bit. So some of them a little bit long, so bear with me. Yeah. So the first issue, jurisdiction question from member Keone Machado. Question jurisdiction over the hillside across of the Heia State Park where homeless individuals were staying. Noting his father previously maintained that area when working at the Rose Division in King School's base yard. So the Department of Parks and Recreation, DPR, actually has jurisdiction. And so their response is DPR is aware of the homeless individuals on property. DPR will contact other city departments to coordinate an SPO enforcement. So normally, on DPR property, the DPR initiates an enforcement with HPD and also with DFM. We have the stored property ordinance. Our crew will go out and, if we have to, if people decide to leave some personal items, we are responsible to store it for like at least 45 days. And sometimes, most of the times I go out just to see how they're doing the work. And a lot of these guys will just leave a lot of their property, things that they collect and just tell us to just throw it away. So on average, we collecting probably anywhere from like 3 to 5 tons daily. Some areas in town, we actually picking up like 11 to 12 tons. So, and these are places that we schedule on weekly, right? So we show up weekly. For Parks and Recs, a lot of this is organized at the parks. Yeah. Okay. So moving on, Kahalu'u Regional Park maintenance. Board member Ripun asked which city department maintains the back of Kahalu'u Regional Park and asked for maintenance for the overgrown how bushes in the area. And the response comes from the Department of Recreation. Kahalu'u Regional Park and the undeveloped areas are under the maintenance jurisdiction of DPR. Recently, the stored items of unauthorized campers were cleared out of the unimproved areas. DPR plans on clearing the Kahalu'u and other brush over the next few months. Okay, so item number 3, food truck limit. Vice Chair Makai Nai asked how many food trucks are allowed to operate at the same time at 47-528 Kamehameha Highway, the roundabout. The board learned last month this area is zone B1 and truck operations are allowed. Okay, so this response is kind of long, right? So bear with me, please. DPP, the Department of Planning and Permitting, their response is for the purposes of revised ordinance of Honolulu, ROH Chapter 21, the Land Use Ordinance, LUO, a food truck is considered a mobile commercial establishment which is permitted use within the B1 district. In the B1 district, the number of mobile commercial establishments is determined in part by the maximum density of structures on the site, floor area ratio, FAR, of 1.0, and by the ability of the site to meet other requirements, including a 10-foot front yard setback and parking requirements that vary depending on the number of establishments present on the zoning lot. The FAR and yard setback standards are established in ROH, the LUO table 21-3.4. And Rachel, if you could put the link up, please. 21-3.4. And continuing on this response, specific development standards for mobile commercial establishments are in the LUO section 21-5.70 9B, which outlines several additional requirements in 3 or more mobile commercial establishments are located on a single zoning lot. These relate to a parking management plan, vehicle and pedestrian plan, hours of operation, and provision of screened restroom facilities if there is patron seating. You can review the LUO on our website at, if you put the link in, please. Thank you, Rachel. And then, continuing, please note that if the mobile commercial establishment has a fixed location on the site for an extended period, i.e. overnight or more than 24 hours, does not move off-site every day, then it is considered a structure and requires a building permit, even if it meets the other required standards referenced above. Compliance with all relevant standards will be confirmed during the review of building permits. Please also note that this zoning lot is located within the Special Management Area, SMA, and therefore any activities meeting the definition of development under ROH Chapter 25, the SMA ordinance are required to obtain a SMA permit in addition to any required building or construction permits. A brief review of DPP records revealed no evidence that an SMA approval was obtained for any development to establish an eating establishment for food trucks. And that's the end of that, yeah, so. Okay, number 4, new permitting systems. Vice Chair Makainai asked about DPP transferring to a new permitting system and when the change will be complete. So DPP responded with, it's a H&L build, and it is live as of August 4th, 2025. Okay. Number 5, bus stop at Kamehameha Highway and Waihe'e Road. Board member Art Machado suggested moving the bus stop at the intersection of Kamehameha Highway and Waihe'e Road, heading west direction. He said the bus prevents cars from turning left onto Waihe'e Road and asked for a study to see if the bus stop can be moved past the intersection. And the response is by the Department of Transportation Services, DTS. Kamehameha Highway is under the jurisdiction of the Hawaii Department of Transportation, HDOT. DTS and HDOT are aware of the situation and will be working cooperatively to analyze potential locations to relocate bus stop number 24387, Kamehameha Highway and opposite Waihe'e Road. Okay, number 6, downed bus handy van lines. Resident Dano Sakamoto asked if DTS can send press releases for downed phone lines or similar issues as soon as the problem happens. Sakamoto noted that the outage on 9/3/2025 did not get a press release until the afternoon, even though lines went down in the morning. And the DTS responded with, the afternoon press release referenced by Mr. Sakamoto was not the first public information notice by DTS. In fact, DTS posted public notices on social media, i.e. Instagram and Facebook, regarding the bus and the handy van communications outage within minutes of being informed of the situation. As noted by Mr. Sakamoto, the City and County of Honolulu's press release was not issued until the early afternoon. This is because additional review time was required to ensure the accuracy of the information contained in the official press release. And finally, number 7, overgrown vegetation maintenance. Board member John Ripoon reported overgrowth along Kamehameha Highway between Lulani Street and Kaikili Highway, the roundabout. Is this area city jurisdiction? And if so, can DFM schedule maintenance for the overgrowth? And the response for the Department of Facility Maintenance is the portion of Kamehameha Highway between Lulani Street and Kahikili Highway is a mixture of city and private property responsibility. The roundabout at Kahikili Highway is the responsibility of the state. DFM's Division of Road Maintenance began clearing the overgrowth along the city's portion of Kamehameha Highway on September 29th, 2025. That's it for the response and here to take any questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of that follow-up on the food trucks. It's becoming increasingly more dangerous for people to drive in that area. So there are at least 4 of the food trucks that are currently in that area that do not move. So they are definitely subject to the structure portion of that response. So if possible, could we get somebody from DPP out there? I would like to be part of the solution where we can find them a better place to move, where they're safe, they can remain in community. But right now the issue is safety. So that's a big problem. And they're definitely not abiding by the 10-foot setback. I think just in general, by where the roundabout got placed and where hygienic is, because hygienic itself is the only thing that really belongs there since it's been there since the 70s or before, possibly before. Sorry, before we sold it in the 70s. So if we could get an inspector out there.
I'm sure we can work on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
The
sure
parking
folks
is an
at
issue
Rachel
too.
taking- Yeah.
There's not enough parking
The
as well.
parking is definitely an issue because they've chained off the drive-through space. And we've got a bunch of malihini, not so much now, but in the summer months, walking along the highway, just in the way, getting
Okay.
ready to cause an accident.
All right.
So yeah, if we could just get someone from the city to follow up on that, that'd be great. Board members in person, Uncle Art, you have a follow-up?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you for having the city and county trim those trees. And the reason why I'm bringing it up again, my son told me that they did it 20 years ago. And part of it seems okay, and part of it is still need to be trimmed. So he talked to me just before I left home, and he said, see if you can follow up on that road. Because we have a lot of people that, not only the bus, but people walk from 7-Eleven all the way up into St. John's and that area. And like I said, part of it is still not trimmed. So they're walking on the road. So I would appreciate if you do some follow-up on it.
Thanks, Uncle Art.
Yeah,
Cooper?
so I still have not heard back about the solar. Is this the time to address that? Because
So
that would have
this,
been the mayor's.
so
office.
he would have not been here already when you
Right.
asked that question last time. So yes, this is the time to ask that question.
Oh, okay. So, but would he know anything about?
He may not, but he can take it back and get us a response. But
Okay,
Chelsea also was online when you asked the question. and
Right.
Councilmember Matt Wire's office, so she will probably have a follow-up response, but you can, for good
Okay.
measure, just say it
so I
again.
actually have some, because this is the solar issue that I brought up for multi-unit structures. Since 2020, no one has been able to get a building permit to actually install solar on their units. And I'm one of the people actually directly involved with that. There's some questions that I have that maybe you can take back. I would like to know why the mayor's office did not create the guidelines with Department of Planning and Permitting to allow solar on multi-unit structures. The second thing is, who will be the contact person for follow-up? Should I have questions or if anything's being done? The third thing is, I would like to propose to the mayor that the guidelines be in place for the Department of Permitting and Planning to begin accepting applications for solar on multi-unit structures by the ending of this month. The reason why that is because all of the federal monies, the stimulus or the grants that are being given for that rebates, they're going to end December 31st. And I have been denied since 2023. And so I've not been able to get solar for 2 years now. And I just think that it needs to get done, like expeditiously, because we're at the end of the year. You know, Trump has discontinued the federal rebates, like I said. And then it's also in conflict with our state's goal to support clean energy efforts, sustainability, and going green. So I would like the mayor to address that immediately if possible. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Uncle Dan, you got something?
So I looked into the rules for condominiums and for common area maintenance. What I discovered is that when you buy a condominium, you sign certain covenants, things that you agree to, and that in those covenants, common area is defined. So your area has, each has a different house, and that makes good sense to have PV. Many of the other condominiums are on hotels or on 25-story buildings. And so the question is really one that Work Council, I think, needs to come and explain to us so that you'll understand. If we allow that, I'm sorry, I don't work for the city, but if the city were to allow that one person to put one of those, a PV panel, it would be in disagreement with the covenant of the condominium. So what has to happen is that the covenants of your condominium have to be adjusted, maybe with the help of Corp Council, so that they can make that happen for you. But the reason it's been denied is basically because of those things, the covenants that you signed and what's in them, and the differences in the many different types of condominiums. They can't have one rule for, like our HOA and the Waikiki apartments, and then also the detached houses. So it's actually a very good question, and it's a legal one. It's not one that necessarily could be answered by the mayor's rep. So perhaps we could ask the Corp Council to come and give us a hand on that.
So this is something that would be more for Councilmember Wire's office, who you addressed with last month. So we'll wait for Chelsea's response, but at least if we could just get that on mayor's radar, that's
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, all of the questions will be, sent to the proper departments for responses. Yeah, so yeah, that one I wouldn't be able to answer.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members in person for mayor's rep? Uncle Ken online?
Yes, I am concerned about the side of the road issue involving vegetation. Kamehameha Highway in the entire area owned by the city and county of Honolulu, which you guys might want to negotiate with the state to have the state take it over again. But right now it's under city and county control. It's not just the paved area and just the side of the road. The right of way for Kamehameha Highway is mostly 40 feet, and some places it's 44 feet wide. So if you look at the center of the road and you go to the side, it's 12 feet for the roadway at its widest. And then you've got 8 more feet off to the side to make up 1/2 of the 40-foot right of way. So every time we try to get vegetation cut, we're told that it's private owner. You got to talk to the private owner. It's not. The private owner doesn't start. The ownership does not start until 20 feet away from the center line. So all that vegetation growing is in the right of way. When it's in the right of way, it's whoever owns the right of way's responsibility. So what we're saying is either have them say, okay, they'll be right on it, or explain to us why the city does not have to maintain vegetation in their right of way. Thank you.
Maybe we could connect with HECO on that point, because a lot of that vegetation that they're discussing is going into the PUC lines, which I would imagine HECO would be willing to help address that overgrowth so that their lines don't go down.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can send that out, and try to get some response for next month.
Thank you.
I mean, but I just want to remind that, if overgrowth is coming from a private property, the city will not perform any maintenance. Because once we do that, then we set the precedence, then everyone's going to expect us to go and clean their yard, whether it's a stream or what. You know what I mean? So we need to take our stance, right? So we have our division of road maintenance, they actually look at all the TMKs, and then they can actually figure out the delineation of city property and private property, state property, and also federal property. Yeah.
So how does it work when the trees are overhanging? It's clearly growing from.
Well, that we might have to look at. I mean, because sometimes, it is the owner. If it's a city, then we'll trim it.
So then maybe the solution is to start issuing citations to the
I think
homeowners.
that might be it. But, DFM does not write any citations. So that we would have to, the Department of Planning and Permitting
Mhm.
would need to step in and write citations, just like, sidewalk repairs and stuff like that, It's actually the DPP that goes out, they inspect, and then they, if we are at fault, then they issue a work order to DFM, and then we go out and we make the repairs. And depending, now, if it's a city tree, then we need to coordinate the work with the Department of Parks and Rec. But in this situation, you're talking about overgrowth.
Mhm.
It may be coming from private property, so the DPP may have to write a letter, for the homeowner to start trimming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uncle Ken, is that a satisfactory response for you, or you have something to add?
We have no objection at all to effectively dealing with private ownership that encroaches on the right of way. But we have specified in the ask for you to find out the answer. I forget the type of grass that is, but the grass is not originating from private property. It's originating from the right of way. So if we can just get the grasses cut, and then we would totally support the city in getting tree overgrowth cut back. That'd be a great solution. We would totally support your efforts in that area. Now, there's also interesting things about sidewalks. Sidewalks are in the right of way, but when you get a development and you're making change to your development, your house, your whatever, you then have to agree to get the new permit. You have to agree to put in the sidewalk. Okay, so that sidewalk becomes mutual between it's in the right of way, but it's built and I guess maintained by the private property owner. This does not apply to that. We don't have well, we do have vegetation growing out of sidewalks, but that's Kahalu'u. Anyway, you see what I'm saying. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Uncle Ken. Any other board members online for Mayor's Rep? Uncle John, I'll take one more, and then I'm going to move to communities. So we need to move along in the agenda.
Okay. Warren, thanks very much for your detailed report and responses. Really appreciate it. I want to talk about the vending real quickly. Vending around the roundabout in the vicinity of Hygienic Store and the park area that is Kahalu'u side of Hygienic Store on the Mauka side of Kamehameha Highway. It is a really big concern because there's really no place for people to pull off, and it's not a place for vending. I would like to see this issue be on our neighborhood board agenda for the next meeting so we can talk further about it. But I think, Warren, what would be really helpful is that we have talked about the idea of further up, and there's vending also going on along Kahikili as well. And that's starting to be more and more of a problem. But and there's no vending allowed. So we have talked about the idea of having the space between Kahikili Highway and O'Connor Road. O'Connor Road being city, Kahalu'u side of the last stoplight, yeah, by Ahuimanu Road. And so between state-owned Kahikili and city-owned O'Connor Road, there's the area that sometimes gets used as a mud bog. And I know that DOT, I've had conversations with Ed Sniffen about this. The DOT would be interested in maybe if we come up with a proposal, and I think it'd be helpful if the city, DTS and others work with the state to look at the possibility of an area for vending where people could come off of Kahikili Highway at the stoplight and go on O'Connor Road and deal with the drainage and all of that. So we have a specified area for vending, and that makes it much easier to say that other areas are not for vending. So anyway, just wanted to put that out there. But if we could, maybe you could explore that a little bit with other folks in the city, and maybe we need to set up a permitted interaction group for the neighborhood board to assist in that process. But it's time for us to have that discussion. So very much appreciated. Mahalo.
Yeah. You're welcome, John. Well, and that's a good question. I mean, at the edge of pavement on Mauka side of O'Connor Road, all of that where they mud bog and everything, that's actually State Department of Transportation, at Kahikili Highway. So, any permits to allow vending would need to come from the state. I guess through DOH and also DOT. right? To, I guess,
Yeah.
change, from the no vending to vending, find an area like that. So.
In a specific area, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, we can put that in the comments of tonight, and then we can figure out, what department will take that. And it pretty much sounds like it's the Department of Planning and Permitting, so now, if they are aware that no SMA was, provided or submitted over at Hygienic Store in that area, I think
Mhm.
that's something that they would have to, follow up on, send an inspector out earlier, like Jesse had asked. So,
Right.
I don't think we need to continue. And, hopefully by next month, we can get more answers. And if not, maybe the following month. Yeah. So that's a good question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rather than coming down on what exists, let's present
Yes.
something that can work for the community.
Okay.
Yeah. Mahalo.
You're welcome.
Just so everybody's clear for the record, we don't want to shut the businesses down. We want them moved to where it's safe for everybody in community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Community in person. Uncle Cliff, you got something? Can you make it quick?
Yeah. Somebody's building one house on Wailehu Road. I don't think they have permit or what, because that is all wetland on Wailehu Road.
Oh, yeah. Kind of familiar with
What?
that.
Huh? Did you hear about that one?
Well, we've discussed some matters with that. Yeah. About not as far as building the home, but
No,
as
it
far
was
as like
on-
drainage, yeah,
because
I'm
that,
aware.
with the new generation now, within the city, most of them people there don't know what over there was
Mhm.
once upon a
Right.
time. But it's all wetland. It's all the way from way up, come down to Kamehameha Highway.
Mhm.
But this one here, they will fill the land, but it's about 2 to 3 feet above existing road. But now, I don't know if it's a house or warehouse coming up.
Mhm.
Because like somebody was telling me, I said, hey, gonna build one house. I said, I don't know. Will they give permit for build houses over there anymore? Because it's all wetland. No, the people now don't know it was wetland once upon a time.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if they had gotten a permit, but we were in discussions about like any easements for draining for drainage, and the city does not have any easements. When the
Right.
developer developed Wailehua, they put the roads in and everything,
Yeah.
and they created the runoff from the road towards where you're speaking about. And just behind those homes, there's existing homes, right?
Yeah.
So there is a ditch back there,
Yeah.
but it's privately owned, I believe. I think there's a small portion that may be city owned, but majority is privately owned. And so, I think we got to come back, hopefully next month, the Department of Planning and Permitting will be able to respond to your concern.
Yeah, because everybody say, hey, what is guy? Some
Yeah.
look like
Yeah, Uncle Cliff. So
house on the bottom and a house on gonna be a mansion.
Uncle Cliff, best to report the address directly to DPP so they can send out an inspector, and then Mayor's Rep could give us a follow-up next month. Okay? Cool. Community online, anything for Mayor's Rep? Seeing none. Thank you so much. That was a lot. Thank you. Moving on in our agenda to Councilmember Esther Kia-Aina. Do we have somebody from Councilmember Kia-Aina's office online? Sorry, I forgot my glasses today. Cannot see. Oh, hi,
Sorry,
Kim. Go ahead.
Hi, it's Kim with Councilmember Kia-Aina's office. She's at the Anita Hoyne Convention these next few days, so couldn't be here tonight. She just wanted to remind everybody that the Honolulu Charter Commission is currently convening to determine charter amendments that will be considered by voters on the November 2026 elections ballot. So the commission is accepting proposals up until November 7th. There's an informational session at Windward Community College on October 16 at 6 p.m. and I'll put the information in the chat. There'll also be a virtual one on October 22nd, and they don't have the link available yet, but they should have it, I think, the week prior, if anything. And that's kind of all we have this evening. I can take any questions.
Thank you so much. Board members in person, anything for Councilmember Kia-Aina's office? Board members online? Community in person? Community online, seeing none. Thanks so much, Kim.
Thank you. Wow.
Moving on to Councilmember Matt Wire's office. Chelsea, are you online with us? Hi,
Hi,
Chelsea.
yes. Hello, hello. Thank you for having me. I just wanted to share just a couple of highlights from our newsletter here. One of the things that I'll echo is the Charter Commission meeting. So that's something that we also wanted to remind folks. Another opportunity to meet our team and council member in the community is going to be our upcoming Talk Story sort of we call it coffee with the council member, but it's a talk story session with council member Wire. We're going to be showing up at Key on October 24th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And it's going to be just very casual setting. We've done this in Hau'ula so far, in Waikele and Wahiwa. It's been nice. We've had some pretty good turnout for mid-morning. And the reason why we are having it middle of the morning is because we're asking all of our office to come as support, because if we have some concerns from folks who do show up, we will intake it and we will get all of the details as best we can. So that way, when we follow up with the department, we can give them names, we can give them addresses, we can give them all of the details that we usually need in order to follow up with specific departments on community concerns. So that's going to be coming up, like I mentioned, at Key Project, October 24th from 10 a.m. to 12. So mahalo to the team over at Key if you are in person. I appreciate you. A couple of things also just sharing from our newsletter. I think I shared last month the SPO that we did at Kahalu'u Regional Park, just in conjunction with Department of Recs and HPD, as well as DFM. So thank you so much. We also wanted to share there's some progress that's being made, I think, with the clearing out of some of the ironwood trees and just some of the overgrowth that's at Kahalu'u Regional Park. Jason Wool, he is the parks manager who's sort of taking the lead on it. Our office is also trying to figure out some coordination on how to get the specifics in order, permitting wise. Also, DPR is trying to get some contracts in place so that way we can get some monies to do some contracted work. But as I mentioned, it is going to be a really big job and it's going to take community effort as well. So from what I understand, we've been making some calls. I had reached out to Uncle John Rapoon. I think Jason Wolf from DPR has reached out to Uncle Rick Towel, just trying to get some folks in order so that way we can reach out on all things machinery and all things timeline. So just know that there's conversations that are happening in the background, but no set updates quite yet. But as soon as we do get something in order, I'll be sure to reach out. Thank you. I wanted to also address let's see here. Ku'upoli, excuse me, I know last meeting, I think that please correct me if I'm wrong, I think you were newly elected. I was waiting to be connected with you. I'm not sure if the commission or if I was gonna wait from an email from you as far as details go. I know that there was some like addresses that I wanted to follow up on in regards to the multi-unit housing that needed to be included with the permitting and getting solar into your townhomes. So I haven't had a response from DPP quite yet. I have some notes here, but I wanted to just be able to have the opportunity to connect with you offline as well, just so I have all of my details in order as far as addresses go, what you've been experiencing and hearing. So that way, when I take it all to the department, I can make sure that it's all good and accurate to the best of my ability. So I'll go ahead and drop my email into the chat one more time. And then I think that your email is on the Neighborhood Board Commission website now. I was looking as you were talking with director. So I do apologize. I don't have an update for you. I am going to make sure that I have everything that I need from you to follow up, and I'll give you a call tomorrow so I can make sure that I have those details. And then if I don't get a response from DPP before the talk story that's happening on the 24th, you're welcome to come on down. Our chief of staff is going to be there, Latani, I'm pretty sure, and then council member will also be there as well. So that way we can talk all things policy. So I welcome that, and I do apologize for not having some of that response yet.
No worries. Sorry, Chelsea, because you know what? Last month we didn't have Rachel with us. We had Jeff and everything was kind of wonky there. So NCO just got everything solidified, but Rachel's gonna drop Ku'upoli's phone number in the chat for you,
Okay.
in direct message to you so that you can get a hold of her offline.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Uncle Dan, you have something?
So last time I asked a question about the Housing Rehab Loan Fund. If you look at the back of the budget, there's a very small fund, and it's for people to come into the city and get a loan to rehab their houses. So I asked specifically if your councilman would be willing to change it to the sewer, septic tank, and housing rehab loan fund, so that we would have at least one fund in the city budget that people could use to borrow money to repair broken septic tanks. Could you ask that question to him? Can the Housing Rehab Loan Fund, which exists, be renamed the Sewer and Septic Tank and Housing Rehab Loan Fund?
I apologize. I don't have a response quite yet from our team. I think
No,
I
no
got some
need
of the
response. No, you don't have to respond now, because I don't think you got the question. It's quite all right. We've been asking it for maybe 3 or 4 meetings, but I think if Matt Wire does that, he'll just win a lot of prizes.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. And then if just out of curiosity, with the renaming of the fund, I was just curious, sort of the context of that, and if there's any other resources that you could share
So
when I can present that to the team.
So the city has no dedicated funding for citizens who want to repair their sewers, right? Yeah, the connection between the sewer line and the broken septic tank. And it's enormously expensive for people to have excavations done, even a short distance from your house to the sidewalk. So even if we just did 10 or 20 properties a year, that would begin to put a dent into the broken septic tank situation, which plagues the Kaneohe Bay, which, as you know, is often fouled with all kinds of things. So what I'm looking for is a dedicated fund from the city, and the Housing Rehab Loan Fund often goes unused because, like you, nobody knows about it. So if you could rename that fund as a sewer repair or a septic tank repair and housing rehab loan fund, it would be pretty helpful. It's a general fund, and I think Esther didn't seem to know about it, but perhaps Matt could just take a look and check with the finance director and ask him about that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And the only thing and I appreciate you kind of walking me through it. The only thing that was sort of popping in my mind as we were discussing is just the cesspool conversion. And I know cesspool conversion is very different than repairs, but I just am curious, and I'm thinking out loud here, if that is something that maybe we want to include with that fund that was recently created under the Climate Resiliency Fund. So that is something I'm just sort of speaking out loud here, but I'm taking notes, and I'll bring that back to the team.
So I'm not asking for more money. I don't think we're going to have any extra money to do much of anything this year. All I want you to do is rename the fund and let people know that it's there.
So just for clarification, Uncle Dan just wants the Housing Rehab Loan Fund renamed to include sewer septic tank repairs opportunities, sewer septic repair opportunities. So Chelsea's question is, would you also like the conversion aspect of that to be included in renaming said fund? That sounds feasible to us. Yes. When you go to Councilmember Wire with the suggestion, all septic, sewer,
I appreciate it.
cesspool related items using the Housing Rehab Loan Fund so that we're not wasting money that is sitting and can go to use for community. All right. Excellent. Sorry, Chelsea. I think we cut you off in the middle of your report. Did you have anything else to report before we started asking more questions?
No,
Or was that it?
that was just that was pretty
Okay.
much it. I'll go ahead and make sure I share the newsletter with you folks. And unless you folks are already on our district newsletter, you should be getting notified very shortly when we send it out tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good. Any other board
Thank
members
you.
in person for Chelsea from Councilmember Wire's office? Board members online for Councilmember Wire's office? Seeing none. Community in person? Community online. Thanks so much, Chelsea. Moving on to Board of Water Supply, Barry Usagawa. Barry, are you online with us tonight? Is he online? Okay, if Barry comes back later, we'll circle around to him. Moving on to City Division of Urban Forestry. Sorry, I don't want to say your name wrong. Nevin?
Navin Tagore.
Nevin. Thanks, Nevin.
I'm gonna share my screen to do the presentation. Is that okay? Okay. All right, aloha. My name is Navin Tagore. I am a community forester with the Division of Urban Forestry, and I'm also a resident of Kahalu'u. I live down Wailau Point, so this presentation is a little bit more personal for me today. The Division of Urban Forestry is responsible for the street trees and the park trees across all of Oahu, and we also administer the Exceptional Tree Program. The Exceptional Tree Program, if you're not familiar with, is basically a tree protection program that is administered by the city and county. So I'm just here to kind of pitch this program and in the hopes of growing it. Okay. Gonna talk about the program overview, the history, the criteria of what makes an exceptional tree exceptional, how exceptional trees are managed, and then I'm gonna show you a map of the existing exceptional trees. Okay, so it was started in 1975 as part of the Exceptional Tree Act, which is a statewide act, which is essentially administered by the city and counties. And it is designed to protect designated trees from improper pruning and unnecessary removal. And it was kind of a response to a lot of the development at the time where a lot of these landmark trees were getting removed and the community was in uproar trying to preserve the urban forest. There's a couple perks to it. If you're a private property owner, if you have an exceptional tree that is nominated and designated as exceptional, then you are eligible for a $3,000 tax deduction for tree trimming services every 3 years. That is out of the state income taxes. It's a pretty small incentive, to be honest. When it comes down to it, only ends up being a couple $100 a year. So it's a small incentive, but really the main purpose of this is to protect our landmark trees. And then nominated trees are reviewed and approved by the Mayor's Arborist Advisory Committee, and they meet every 2 months. So nominations can get processed in about 4 months or so, and then approved by the City Council once a year. There are over 1,400 exceptional trees across of Hawaii, and unfortunately, many of them are beginning to die of basically they're aging out and senescing. And part of the reason why we're doing this as part of the committee, the Arborist Advisory Committee, is to try to get more trees on that register and preserve some of our urban forest. So what makes an exceptional tree? There are the 7 criteria here: historic or cultural value, age, rarity, location, size, aesthetic quality, and endemic status. Endemic status is kind of tricky. It's a little misleading. Just because you have an endemic tree does not make it exceptional. It needs to be something else on there, like maybe it's a really large Lonomia tree or a really kind of a landmark koa tree. So it doesn't, just because it's a koa doesn't make it exceptional. If you're interested, please scan that QR code that goes to our website. It has all the nomination forms and a lot more about what we're talking about here today. Exceptional trees are, they're protected because of how they are managed. So if you have an exceptional tree, you can't just prune that tree. You got to go through this application process with the Division of Urban Forestry, and they check that your arborist is actually qualified and knows what they're doing. So we don't want trees getting topped or butchered or improperly removed. The Division of Urban Forestry, or DUF, basically right now we have a list of qualified arborists, but if it's a new arborist, there's an arborist application form to become a qualified arborist. And we oftentimes will send our arborists out to the tree to review the plan to prune that tree to make sure that it's done in a proper way. So it's a bit more intensive than a typical tree, But it, you know, doesn't necessarily cost more, you know, application is free and all that. It's just a more administrative process. So exceptional trees are, they're pretty hard to remove. Once it's on there, the only reason it can be removed is if it poses immediate risk to public safety or property. And the other thing with exceptional trees, regardless of who owns that tree, owns that property, that tree is always going to be an exceptional tree. So you sell your house, the next property owner is going to have an exceptional tree, and they're kind of locked into that deal. Okay. And the next part, this is where it gets kind of more interesting, kind of hard to see. Okay, so this is a map of the existing exceptional trees on Oahu. And if you take a look at it, you might notice something. It's part of why I'm here today. The vast majority of our trees, as you can see, are in town. The vast majority of them. But, you know, as a resident of Kahalu'u, I know that there's some incredible trees in our community. You know, just right outside, there's a massive hau tree that I have never seen a hau tree like that. And, you know, I come up here all the time. Families gather under it. It's a gathering place, you know. That should, in my mind, be an exceptional tree. You know, the banyan by the hygienic store, that's been there for generations and generations. It's a landmark for our community, but it is not designated as an exceptional tree. So part of the reason I'm here to talk is to get the word out. You can protect these trees. You can protect, oftentimes, a part of the look of our communities that we become, you know, really accustomed to, familiar with, comfortable with. So that's kind of the presentation. If you are interested, please scan that QR code. You can nominate trees. Myself and the Arborist Advisory Committee will review those trees, and we are trying to get as many nominations through as possible right now.
Can we only nominate trees if they belong to us, or can we nominate trees that belong to other people, like the banyan tree at Hygienic Store?
Yes, so public property trees, yeah, you can nominate them, and then they'll come through either the Division of Urban Forestry or the state. Either way, it's going to come through our office, and then we would send it to the appropriate department to sign off on it or not. Yeah, but private property, you got to get the private property owner's signature. It's a little bit more cumbersome, but oftentimes they go for it. Yeah.
Excellent. Board members in person, anything for Nevin? Board members online, I can't see you, but just go ahead and turn your mic on if you have anything for Nevin.
Hi, Chair.
Hi, can you state your name? I can't
Yeah,
see you. Sorry.
No worries, Ian Akahi Masterson. Hi, Nevin. How's it going? Hey, I thank you for asking that correct question, because there is a very important tree that I've wanted to get on that list for a long time in Ka'alaya, just south of the point there, and by the stones called Na Pohakuli'ili'io Kiolea, I believe is the name of those stones. Archaeology of McAllister, right? Archaeology of Oahu in 1930s and repeated in sites of Oahu, Sterling and Summers, 1980 something. There is a tree there that is unlike any other, and I think in the literature it says mape, and there's only one of its kind there, and it was planted by Maikaiki when he comes up, and through the sand down there, Onehunan and a few other names that are right there in the corner by Pulama Road. So a few houses up there, and in going to Raiatea and Tahiti, we found the Tahitian chestnut tree with big nut. Mapu, I think, is what they're calling it now, or one way or the other. It was an old name reference in the 30s, and this name, Mape Mapu, it is of the same tree with the big chestnuts and the only one of that kind. So the question becomes, how do you ask a private homeowner, are you willing to do this? You know, I mean, obviously offer the incentives that the tree is cared for, but La'amaikahiki, you know, 1400s or earlier, you know, we're talking about a very old tree that is said to have been there in the 30s when McAllister did his survey. So perhaps we can, I mean, I'm happy to work with you, but that would be one that is super important for our area as a historic site and is right. I know where it is. My friend lived next door and said, "Oh, you mean the one with the big nuts that goes bang on their aluminum roof?" You know, so, you know, Anyway,
Thank you,
but
Ian.
I want to do that with the respect of the Kuleana family that's there, who probably
Thank
knows.
you,
Yeah.
Ian. I think you do know these people directly. If you would
No,
just share if you share the
no.
information with them.
My friend lived next door nearby and has since moved. I have no connection. I've never met those people down Mackay of Kahalu'u, right there on that stretch on the south side of the point coming around towards Waihole Poi Factory. So maybe John knows them because the old family. You'll see the tree. It's a very distinctive tree and is quite big and noticeable. And I'm happy to go down there, but I don't know how to approach them, Nevin. That's why I'm kind of asking you. Beautiful
Wow.
presentation. How do we take action on that?
Yeah, I'll put my email in the chat. Let's connect. And I've been going to private property owners myself. We can do it together.
All right, sounds great. And enough
Not everybody has social media, but does the division have its own social media handle?
It kind of sucks, to be honest.
Okay, but is is the QR code posted anywhere on Instagram or Facebook by chance that we could maybe ask someone to share it? Like Key Project might want to share it on their page.
What I can do, I can hand out flyers with the QR codes on it.
Okay.
And then in the meantime, I'll put my email in the chat here. And if
Okay.
anyone wants to contact me, that's okay. Unfortunately, I forgot the flyers today. That's my bad.
That's okay. I can just email it to Rachel or myself or to Chair Spencer and we can attempt to distribute it. And if you send the slides, maybe we can try to get a post together on the NCO. Definitely on the Google Drive, but yeah. So Ian, I guess door to door, knock on the door.
Yeah.
For now. Yeah.
Okay.
Uncle John, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, count me in. I'm interested, Ian and Navin both, to go check out the tree in Kahalu'u. And it's music to my ears to hear that Key Project's How tree could be considered an exceptional tree. There have been occasional executive directors who've come along and say, we should cut that tree. No, they got to do that over my dead body. But anyway, it's a beautiful tree and we have protected it for years. So is that process, I mean, that's actually, I'm not sure if it's on city or state land. I think it might be on state, but I'd be interested in communicating with you about how we can, add that special name to it. That'd be really cool. So, yeah, send us your email.
I actually already started that process for that tree. I just can't figure out who owns the land.
We should talk. There's we can work on that. Let me know.
Thanks,
All right.
Uncle John. Off the
Thanks.
top of your head, Nevin, do you happen to know how tall a Milo tree would have to be considered exceptional?
There's not necessarily a parameter that we'd go for, but
Just like how it looks.
a mature Milo tree is going to be 30 feet or more tall. Really, the canopy, the trunk, the structure is going to be what makes it exceptional. And if there's any story behind it, that really helps the case too.
Okay, great. Any other board members online? Community in person? Community online? Seeing none. Thank you so much. That was very, very nice.
Mahalo.
Moving on in our agenda to Governor Josh Green's representative, Katie Lambert. Katie, are you online? I saw you earlier, but hi. Go
Hi.
ahead. Thank you.
So sharing the governor's newsletter, I did just put the link in, and I believe it's also in the Google Share Drive. Highlights from this month's newsletter include that HHFDC facilitates more affordable housing, that Kahalu'u Family Assessment Center opens its doors, DAGS opens new West Hawaii office to better serve the community. The Hawaii Department of Transportation inaugural internship program provides hands-on experience. That the Hawaii Department of Taxation concludes successful series of tax workshops. Oh, not sure what happened here. And that Hawaii joins the U.S. Affordable Clean Cars Coalition. So that is available in the governor's newsletter. And for this month, I didn't have anything that I'm aware of to follow up on for the board. So at this time, if there's any questions that I can take back to the governor's office for follow-up, I'd be happy to do that.
Board members in person for Gov's office? Board members online for Gov's office?
Jesse, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Uncle John. Go ahead.
Sorry, I couldn't find the hand raising thing. Katie, I mean, this is what's going on across the country, across this country on the continent is appalling as far as ICE and all of that in cities. And I'm reading about what Oregon's doing, what's happening in Chicago and so on. I think it would be really powerful for our governor to convene with the mayors of the various counties here, including Kahalu'u County. What is it? On Molokai, the leper colony. The head of the Department of Health is technically the mayor. Yeah. We need policy. Just talking with a good friend, Hui Manu, who plays tennis with a man who came here from Venezuela legally, is working with the Carpenters Union, and he's being told he has to be gone by November 7th. That's absolutely appalling. We shouldn't put up with that. So I think we need to. We're a neighborhood board, but this is affecting all of our neighborhoods here on Oahu and around the state. And I would really like to see us not just be down here dealing with very, very, very local issues, permitting and all that kind of stuff, but also be dealing with the impact of these national administrative policies on our communities. I'm concerned, if members of my family go to the mainland, I'd be worried that they might be grabbed off the street because they appear to be Latino or whatever. It's appalling behavior, what's going out there. So anyway, I would appreciate it if you would kind of carry that back to the governor, come to the neighborhood board level and talk to us about what your policies are and how you're communicating with the counties around the state as far as how we're going to deal with, how the National Guard is deployed, how our police department is deployed when we are being pressured by an out of control administration. Thank you.
Sure.
Mahalo, Uncle John. Any other board members online? Community in person? Community online. Thanks, Katie. Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you. Good night.
Good night. Moving on to Senator Brenton Awa's office. We have Makana online with us. Hi, Makana.
Hey, hello, my kako. Nice costume, Vice Chair. Just a couple quick updates. We have the Department of Transportation confirming that the Kahalu'u Bridge overpass to Waiahole Valley Road paving project will begin in January 2026. Senator Awa requested that, to the DOT on behalf of the community to add a left turn lane into Waihe'e Road as they're doing their paving project. And then an update on our Genki Kahalu'u project. It's going on its 7th week with almost 2,000 Genki balls deposited. And due to it being fall break this week, we're hosting a community Genki ball drop tomorrow at Kahalu'u Beach at 9 a.m. All are welcomed and to come down and support and learn more about the project. That's all I got. Mahalo. Open for questions.
9 a.m. Mahalo, Makana. Board members in person. Anything for Senator Awa's office? Board members online?
Yeah, Jesse.
Uncle John?
Yeah,
Go
Makana,
ahead.
you heard my previous comments to Katie. If you would take those to the senator as well, I'd appreciate it.
Will do. Mahalo.
Thank you. Okay.
Makana, this is more of a community concern, but if Senator can follow up with DLNR on why the gates at Ulumau at the state park are continuing to be closed at random times when they are supposed to be open. And if we could I have multiple photos of multiple days and multiple reports from this one community member, and then also several from others I can send if you folks need it. But we definitely need to get whoever's stewarding Ulumau to be responsible for making sure that the gates are open because it's a park before it's a venue.
Got it.
Thank you so much. Community in person, anything for Senator Awa's office? Community online? Seeing none. Mahalo, Makana.
Mahalo. Aloha, everybody.
Aloha. Next, we have Representative Lisa Kitagawa.
Hi, everyone. Good to see all of you. Just a short update. So legislative session is not going on right now. So it's we're doing a lot of, I guess, prep work for coming up January. So if there are ideas for legislation or bills, I know I've worked with various community members in the past to do that. It would be a good time to start reaching out to our office to talk about different bills that you might want to be championing this coming session. So please reach out with that. And just want to highlight an event, which is actually a city and county event, but it's a new event and it's something that Rep. Scott Matayoshi and I will be participating in. So it's a Halloween event on Friday, October 24th at Kaneohe District Park, though a little bit away from Kahalu'u. But all the community is invited. They're trying to do sort of like a trick or treat event with different tents and community groups, and there'll be games and prizes. And so it goes from 4 to 7. So bring your kids for this community event that they're trying to do for the first time this year. So just something to highlight, but I can answer any questions that you guys might have.
Mahalo, Rep. Kitagawa. If I could just ask that you possibly follow up with DLNR on the same request I just made to Senator Awa's office about why the park gates are remaining locked and unopened at Haia
Okay.
State Park.
Can you forward me the pictures you have?
Yes, yes, I will.
Great.
Board members in person, anything else for Rep. Kitagawa's office? Board members online. Uncle John, any legislation proposals you got in your back pocket?
No, sorry. Pants just went through the wash. I think I washed them. But
Okay.
same comment, Representative Kitagawa, relating to what this state is going to do with respect to the way that the federal government is dealing with our population, those who could be deported and so on. I think it's time for us to have a very strong policy. We need to follow the examples of some other states. I do have a concern. I actually wanted to bring it up for all elected officials, but I'll bring it up here. There is some excavation going on at Kahalu'u Ranch that's been raised. Ian and I are aware of that. I think I sent pictures to you, Rachel, that you may be able to pull up. And none of us know what that excavation is. And is it authorized? Does it need, I mean, Kahalu'u is a very sacred area. I would think State Historic Preservation Division should be looking at this, and as well as DPP. So if we could, I don't know if you could pull up that picture. And Ian, you're on there. If you're driving by it more than I am, since you're going all the way there. But can you put that up there?
So Uncle John, I have one picture that you texted to me. So Rachel doesn't have it.
I think I might have
No,
emailed
no.
it to you, Rachel.
I may be able to do that.
Did
too,
you just
but
email it just now, or was this earlier, Uncle John?
Just a little bit earlier. I sent it to you earlier at the start of the meeting. Ian, do you have those handy?
Ian, do you want to share screen if you have it up?
I'm trying to pull it up, see if my computer downloaded it to my phone. Otherwise, I gotta go grab my phone.
Did you get it?
This came from Kamuela Kalaia.
Okay. Rachel's gonna pull it up if you just give her a minute.
Yeah. But yes, it's been brought to my attention as well. It's quite concerning, the construction going on in that area called Hau'ula, just north of Kaneho'alani Ridge, coming down towards the corner of the park there. We don't know if it has to do with the permit that was gotten before. Oh yeah, that's the area. And so, you can see the three notches behind this area of construction where there's already been a big platform built maybe a decade ago by the ranch that was being used for a PA. But it did impact sites then, and I have pictures of that. Even those mountain ridges have a legend behind them, being a family walking up the hillside there. So yeah, we're
Quick
very
question.
concerned about that,
Ian, question, is this something for Rep. Kitagawa specifically or more for DPP and city to look into and just for Rep. Kitagawa to be aware of?
As a state historic preservation division, archaeological site on the historic register, that falls in state, representative as well as DPP city and county side, you know, this is, and even the conservation side, you know, being up on the cliffs like that. But,
Can I ask a question? So
Yeah.
okay, so do you know if there's a DPP permit? Are they doing like, are you more concerned that it's,
Okay.
I mean, are you more concerned
I
that it's
don't believe
illegal
there's a
or?
permit for it, but I would have to do research. There was a permit last year that was for various areas for a total of 13 acres, and plus roads being built, but there are many roads being built and asphalt roads as well. So trying to stick to that photo and the concerns of that community member. I don't know if there's any sort of permitting going on up there at all. I would have to go look. However, the concerning question is, what about the archaeology? What about the things that are going on up there? You know, is it going through a proper process?
Okay, so what I can maybe ask of you is like, if you can do the picture, but maybe circle like where, or like, you know, I mean, I would have to give Historic Preservation Shipti like more specifics
Yeah.
and like kind of areas of like, here's what we think is where we think it is, and here's what we think is happening. So if you can send me like the picture with things circled, details you have, whatever you think would be helpful for Shipti, then I'll send them the email and ask them, you know, if they can look into it. But I would need like
Will do.
information to do that. Yeah.
I mean, basically, it's very visible from the exit road at Kahalu'u Regional Park, and the question is, you know, what kind of grubbing and grading or any kind of permit at all do they have to do anything up in that area, let alone, you know, pretty massively impact that view and visual of that sacred area of Kahalu'u. So I will send you pictures and things like that. This is an email that came through John and I's and email, but also something that we noticed when we were at a meeting over the shoreline erosion at Kahalu'u Regional Park. So it was only about a week ago, but we've been watching this grow and grow. So
Okay, great. Yeah, just send me the email.
thank you. Will do.
Thank you.
Any other board members online for Rep. Kitagawa's office? Community in person?
Thank you, John.
Community online? Thanks so much, Lisa. I will send over the photos and the videos.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Moving on to Windward Community College, Chancellor Artis Eschenberg. Artis, are you with us tonight? I do not see Artis. If she comes on later, we can come back to her. Kaneohe Bay Regional Council, Member Keone Machado.
How's it going? I don't have anything new to report this evening from the regional council
Thank
meeting.
you. Thank you very much. Moving on to U.S. Congress Representative Jill Tokuda's office. I don't think we have anybody online, but if they show up later, we can circle back. Kaneohe Marine Corps Base, Hawaii, Auntie Christie will not be joining us tonight because unfortunately, with the current government shutdown, she has been furloughed, and I will read this official statement. Good afternoon, board chairs. The following statement is provided for our October neighborhood board update. The most recent appropriations for the Department of War expired at 11:59 p.m. EST on September 30th, 2025. Military personnel will continue in a normal duty status without pay until such time as a continuing resolution or appropriations are passed by Congress and signed into law. Civilian personnel not engaged in accepted activities will be placed on a non-work, non-pay status. Additional information regarding the government shutdown is available at https://www.war.gov/. Thank you for your time and understanding. Very respectfully, First Lieutenant John E. O'Hara, Deputy Director. So we will have no Kaneohe Marine Corps Base representation, civilian or otherwise, until the government has resumed their responsibilities. Yeah, so moving on. Community topics. Kahalu'u Ranch, we've already discussed with Ian. We've also discussed the state park. Does anybody have any other community topics that have not come up? Marie, you have something? Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Did Joe Watt come in earlier today with an email?
So
Anyone?
yes, would you like me to pull that up for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, we'll just give us a moment.
What is going on here is the first thing is a survey of community leaders that Joe is trying to gather as part of the Vibrant Hawaii program, which if you're not aware of, you can ask me about it. You can ask me about it and I'll tell you more. We have this, first easy survey that I'll give to you guys too with paper, or you can scan that. It takes just a minute. He's gathering information, trying to develop a community emergency action plan. This has been going on in our area for about 1.5 years from Vibrant Hawaii developed out of the Big Island and brought to us thanks to Castle Foundation, trying to work with the Kahalu'u communities. So the whole part of the program is we have to have a base to work with, and this is what this survey is all about. So I would give you, the audience, a paper survey, or you can scan that, and hopefully our members, if they don't want to scan it, I can give you, it may take a minute. They can have that taken care of tonight, and I can deliver it to Joe, okay? The second thing, did he give you also about the meeting coming up, a symposium? Oh, that one, save the date. Good, he got you. Save the date. This is November 14th. This is the second symposium approaching all of the community members serving, whether you be public or private. And it was a really good event last year as we learned more and more about it. So this is in November 14th. So you'll be reminded about that as coming up, okay? But do try to put it on your agenda. It's a very worthwhile program about what's going on, about trying to help our communities. The last thing that I have for you, though, is regarding CERT, Community Emergency Response Team, the Kaneohe Kahalu'u Group. We are trying to sponsor an event in January, a training program. It is 2 full Saturdays and a half a Saturday, 2 full classroom training days, and then a hands-on action training event. If you can't do all of it, I will encourage you, when we get the approval from DEM, to be at least a survivor, so you can see what's involved in community emergency response activities. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Board members in person, any questions for Marie? Board members online, any questions for Marie? Community in person for Marie? That's okay. Community online, anything for Marie? Our emergency preparedness queen. Okay, great. Moving on. Any other community topics that we have not touched on in some way, shape, or form throughout the agenda as is current? Anybody online? Board member or community? All right, moving on then to residents and community concerns, which is more or less the same thing. Any concerns that we have not touched on? Board members in person, board members online. Hey, go Ku'upoli. You got
I have
something?
a concern about that on the back side, or actually the side behind that's the Kahalu'u Shopping Center, the canal that's overgrown. I did bring it up at the last meeting, but I need to know who is the person who will be responding with regards to that. I actually basically need a map because a lot of the brush and the trees that are overgrowing is going on to Tropicana Village Haiku, that whole stretch. And that's from the entrance, the back entrance, all the way to the road, of which city and county is telling us that they're not responsible for that. And so if I had a map that could tell us who owns that canal, then it could be brought to the shopping center. Because someone did show me a map that it was part of the shopping center. And so if I can get access to the map, then we could inform the shopping center that they need to maintain the canal.
So I think you would have to request that from DPP directly. So that's something you'll have to give them a call for.
Okay.
Yeah, I have their phone number. You want it?
Yes, you can give it to me later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, we went board members in person, board members online, community in person. Oh, Uncle Art, you got something? Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Couple meetings ago, I requested a layout of our board with some information from each individual. So if I'm in District 1 and I want to talk to somebody in District 6, I got the phone number, I got the internet. That would help all of us that are on the board. Because right now, besides coming to the meeting and looking at who's here, that's about it. But if you can get information, I can say, you had something like this, it tells you the district. And to me, it's very important. Thank you.
Thanks, Uncle Art. So online on the NCO website, we all have posted the information we wanted made public. Do you want something just internally for us as board members, like a phone list, like a
Yeah.
phone tree? Okay, we can work on that internally, NCO, or not? Or do you need board approval, full unanimous approval for something like that? Okay, we'll put it on board business for next time because I also feel like this may be a situation that would create for a sunshine law violation because we can't have any group text messaging threads or things of that nature that include more than 3 members of the board if we're discussing anything that's been on our recent agendas or will be coming up. So we'll put it on the agenda for next time to discuss a little bit more. Okay, Uncle Art? Thank you. Uncle Ken, what you got? Or was that a fake hand raise?
I have the most up-to-date list of our contact information. We're missing a lot of resident addresses, but almost all the emails I have and most of the phone numbers. And this would be only for circulation within the board, not for public
Yes.
circulation. So I think I sent it to you, right?
I don't have it,
Jesse?
Uncle Ken, but if you want to send it to me again, it's all compiled with names and things in a column. I would appreciate that. And I can
Yeah.
give it
So
to Rachel
it's
and
a
Rachel
head
can
start.
check with Lloyd what the rules are on us having,
Well,
it's the same
it's
way
all
that when we
within the
communicate on
rules.
email.
It's within the rules because it's not meant to talk to more than another person.
Right. I just want to remind everybody though, because of the way technology is and you can communicate with more people in one thread setting than you used to be able to just one-on-one, that any communications via email, text, or otherwise multi-joint FaceTime call, multi-joint phone call, if there are 3 or more of us discussing anything that has come up on an agenda recently, and there's no determination on what recently is, but I think it's safe to say anything that's come up within the past year or so, and anything that we're looking to an agenda in the near future, we cannot discuss any actions that will be made. So just making that clear for the record that everybody understands that we can have each other's contact information, but we cannot have a Hui text
Yes.
message and a Hui email thread. Good?
Yes, that's absolutely true, and that's understood, and that's in the OIP information on the Sunshine Law. We're supposed to sign it and say that we understand that these are the rules, and it basically says what you just outlined. But it's important to have that information. If I got to call one other person about something they said at the meeting, and I didn't quite hear the address or whatever on it, it's not in the minutes or nothing like that. I just want to know how to get in touch with that person. That's all.
Yeah,
And it's
totally understandable.
It's not meant to violate the Sunshine Law at all. Thank you.
Totally understandable. I'm just making sure that we're stating that for the record, also so that the public understands that we are not sharing our contact information for nefarious activities.
Yeah, privately for this board only.
Okay, excellent. Any other board members online? Any community concerns that we have not touched on whatsoever in the agenda thus far? Seeing none. Community in person. Please go to the microphone.
All right. Hello, I'm Keith Webster from Huimano, and I'm just here to really give a shout out to Key Project. You know, a big mahalo for taking on the resilience hubs. I'm kind of following up on Marie here. So there's a number of organizations that have come together that are working on making our community safer. And yeah, Marie's been in this for years. So I'm with Kahalu'u United Methodist Church. We're working on food security, and we'd love to get anybody that's interested to kind of work with us on connecting people to build gardens. You know, home gardens, church gardens, community gardens. And, you know, there's a lot of resources in this community. And we'd really like to get the people together with those resources and start making things happen. This is just one group, one area, working on one area of resilience for our community. And there's a lot going on. So thanks for what you're doing, and just wanted to support Key Project and all of the Resilience Hub organizations that they're supporting. Thank you.
Mahalo, Keith. Kalamai, is the Methodist Church the one that's directly across from the elementary school? Great. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, community online. Anything? Any concerns? Seeing none. Moving on in our agenda to board business. So we were supposed to have a discussion with Kaneohe Marine Corps Base Hawaii, and we are going to not do that because they're on furlough. So when the government decides to get their act together, we will have that update. Creation of board, committees, and chairs. So Chair Spencer has found himself with other Kuleana the past few meetings. We do need to get these committees and chairs situated. So last time we discussed an education committee, a legislative committee, a land and natural resources / parks committee, or all encompassing of those items, and also a Hawaiian Affairs committee. Does anybody have any other suggestions, bar those topics that need to be discussed for committees? Uncle Ken.
Yeah, I have mentioned that transportation infrastructure.
You're right.
That's
You did.
really a
Sorry,
thread
about
that
that.
goes through everything. And that might be better as a, like John says, a committee of the whole. Because basically with all the different committees, I can provide information and assistance to, as it applies to infrastructure. Changing from a chairman, I will always be helping the community, but as more of a resource person.
So
Also,
I don't want to do committees of a whole, and neither does chair, particularly because a lot of these topics require more digestion than what we have available in our once a month 3-hour allocated time. So I do, if you want to do transportation and infrastructure, I am on board with it. I'm sure chair would support it as well, but I don't want to do committees as a whole. We want the subcommittees to have their discussions and come to us with their recommendations so that when we meet as a board in total, we are ready to take action, not continuously table items to the next agenda and the next month and so on and so forth. So
okay, well, usually what I'm involved in with transportation and infrastructure is singular issues. No need for the whole board to get on board. It's like if somebody's got a transportation issue, they are referred to me. I help them resolve the issue, and then I report back on committee reports, and I just say, well, this is what we worked on. And I've been doing that the whole time. Really no big meetings, it's just individual
that sounds
help.
excellent, Uncle Ken. If that's the way you want to run it, then we could do
But
that.
it helps when you call up and say, I'm the transportation chair, and you get answers.
I completely understand that. So you want your committee to be called the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and you want to be the chair? Is that what my understanding?
That would be fine.
That sounds great. Any
I
objections?
have two.
Any objections?
I have two.
Great. Uncle Ken, you are
Two,
officially now the
alternates
Transportation and
that work
Infrastructure
with me.
Committee Chair.
Okay, okay.
Okay, and then so I want you to collect only one other board member to join. So this is what Chair and I also discussed. We only want at maximum 2 board members per committee. And then you need to collect community members to join your committee. We'd like to see at least 4 members in total per committee. So Transportation and Infrastructure Committee is established with Uncle Ken as the chair. And if you could give us your report and who else is going to join your committee next meeting, I would greatly appreciate it.
Well, see, that's the point is I don't work with another one
Sorry.
except on an issues-based basis. For
Sorry.
example,
I move
you know,
that
if-
we nominate Uncle Ken to be the Transportation and Infrastructure Chair.
I second.
Seconded by Uncle Dan. All right. No objections? Excellent. Moving on. All right, Education Committee.
you.
So when we're looking, you're welcome. When we're looking at the Education Committee, we need people to get more civically engaged. Sometimes we draw large numbers in here when we have hot button topics. Sorry, getting tongue tied here. Like Kaneohe canoe clubs, issues with their permitting, and that's all great, but we need to have people civically engaged on a regular basis. So I'm looking for people that are in my age bracket or younger, or social media savvy, that want to take on the Committee of Education so that we are casting a broader net, so that we are educating community on A, what neighborhood board is, because most people have no idea, B, who we engage with as far as city, state, and federal officials, which again, most people have no idea, and they need to have an idea so that they can resolve their issues when they arise through the proper channels. Do I have any volunteers for the Education Committee? Excellent. Hali'amai Kealoha has not nominated herself or threw her name in the hat to be the chair of the Education Committee. Anybody else? Great. Okay, so I move that we establish the Education Committee and Hali'amai Kealoha be the chair. I need a second.
Second.
Excellent. No objections? Any objections? Seeing none. Great, that's unanimous. Moving on. Hawaiian Affairs Committee. This should probably be a Native Hawaiian. So although that's not technically the way things operate all the time in government, but for Hawaiian Affairs, do I have anybody who would like to nominate themselves to be the chair of the Hawaiian Affairs Committee? All things Hawaiian Affairs, things that come up, iwi kupuna, things with OHA, all those kinds of things. You want to jump on? I don't nominate me. I already do this. So come on, we got plenty of Hawaiians on this board. Who's it going to be? Okay. We will think about who the chair will be, but we're establishing the Hawaiian Affairs Committee. Yes. So you're essentially getting your group together, hosting the meeting, and keeping your own minutes and bringing us any decisions or discussions or recommendations that you had during your meetings. You can meet as frequently or as infrequently as you would like. The recommendation is at least once a month or once every month. And you can meet on Zoom or however may have you, but you need to keep track of your own minutes. Yep, and your agenda before you meet goes to NCO so it can be published so that people can join us. Okay. How about a legislative committee? Uncle John, I think you had a better title for that recommendation. What was it again?
I forget, and I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to chair it.
But was it?
I'm
It was something more specific than that, right? Like drafting legislation. No.
No, I can't think of what it was.
Okay.
I have to go back and look at the last board meeting.
All right.
Okay, just
go ahead, Uncle John.
You know,
Question?
you're limiting the size of the number of board members on
Yes.
committees, which has never been done before, and that says to me that you're shying away from permitted interaction groups, right?
I'm not sure. So because we have sunshine law scenarios,
That would be the way. I mean,
that's
if you
why we went for 2. But enlighten
Well-
me on what your recommendation is.
well, I mean, if you have a committee meeting and you're announcing the committee meeting, anybody can show up. Anybody can show up. Anybody could listen in on the committee meeting.
Yeah, they can
That's
listen
the
in
way-
on it, but as far as chiming in and making decisions
Board doesn't make
outside of
decisions.
the board, it's got to just be
The board
that
doesn't.
committee
I mean,
making the decisions, correct
the
or no?
committees don't make decisions. They might make a recommendation to the board.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, we don't make decisions in general, but I'm saying as far as what
Right.
we're going to start putting on our agendas and those things moving forward, yeah, nobody in this room makes any decisions.
Yeah, I'm just
Yes, Uncle Dan?
speaking from.
I think what the chair is saying is that she needs one person and an alternative person so that she can task the committee to answer a specific question and get back to the board with a motion.
Thank you, Uncle Dan. Yes, that is what I'm saying, unless
So you're
better
talking
words.
of a committee of one then, a chair.
Two board members as far as committee members.
One to chair and the other to be an
a
alternate.
support member. Yeah, so in the
I'm
past,
gonna-
I think we had a sustainability committee and I kept the minutes as the secondary, and I believe it was either Hyaka or Ian who was the head honcho. So that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for two board members to be in charge of navigating and publishing and all of the actual administrative things that are required for committee meetings. And then having two community members that are delegated that are actually going to be present and stay present in those roles. And whoever can attend, however they'd like to attend. Uncle Dan?
I think we need a legislative committee that deals with the state and city budget, and it only has to operate from February, March, April, because the city budget, CIP budget, we often make requests and, we make a resolution about what we would like to have.
Okay.
So there just needs to be one or two people who are willing to do that.
That sounds good to me. Do you want to do that, Uncle Dan, since you have the knowledge base?
For all legislation, it's
Just for the budgetary? I'm fine with that. Does
Yeah.
anybody have any objections to that, to just making the legislative committee budgetary?
No, you'll need a legislative committee in addition. to
Oh,
one, but
in
there needs to
addition,
be
so you want like
specific
a
one.
specific, okay, for only a short period of time.
Well, and it's just to submit items to the budget, because if we don't submit anything, we won't get anything. But if we submit some things, we might get something.
Okay, so we're gonna have a legislative committee. I will volunteer to chair for that purely because I am already there. So I see a lot of things that maybe people don't keep an eye on. Does anybody else want to join me on the legislative committee? Think about it for next time, and I will find community members to join me. Uncle Dan will chair the legislative budgetary committee. Is that the title you want it to be? Legislative Budgetary Committee. And that is, when do you want that to? All righty. And that just leaves us with natural resources and parks. I'm not sure how you folks want to name that, but those are things that we need to tackle frequently. So does anybody have a recommendation of how to name that committee and if they would like to chair it? Or be on it and find a chair. The chair doesn't have to be a board member. It's easier if it's a board member just because you know the processes, but it doesn't have to be a board member, correct, Rachel? A chair of a committee. Oh, Kalamai, just kidding. Chair has to be a board member.
Quick question, can there be more than two community members on a committee? You just
Oh, there
can't-
can be more than two. Chair and I want at least two community members. We want more community engagement because while we enjoy all of you and love you all so much and we've developed this professional relationship together, it's really about community. And so we want to get more of them to join us.
So 2 board members and community members at least.
So
2.
the limit is just the 2 board members and we'd like at least 2 community members, but we could have more community members. That's not a problem.
Mahalo. That's
Thanks, Ian.
clarification.
So does anybody have any recommendations on how to label land and natural resources, and or parks combined together. We did sustainability at one point. I feel like that's all encompassing, which we could use again if there are no other thoughts.
My brain was going there.
Sorry, Ian, could you repeat yourself?
My brain was going there too, but it could just be the INA committee, but sustainability is something that might be all encompassing towards
Okay,
it.
I like that. We'll go with the INA committee. That's very simple. Anybody wanting to throw their name in the hat to chair the INA committee? Anybody at all? All right, think about it, just like Hawaiian Affairs. But so we have established now the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, Uncle Ken. We have established the Hawaiian Affairs Committee, and someone will need to be the chair for that. So think about it. Ku'upoli, you're thinking about it? Okay. Oh, you're going to chair it? Okay. So Ku'upoli would like to chair the Hawaiian Affairs Committee. I move that she chair the Hawaiian Affairs Committee. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any objections? Seeing none. All right. Excellent. Then we have a legislative committee, and I will chair that. I guess somebody needs to make a motion that I chair that committee. Oh, you got to move it. All right. It was moved by Member Kealoha and seconded by Ku'upoli. Any objections to myself chairing the legislative committee? Seeing none. Now we have a legislative budgetary committee. I move that Uncle Dan Bender be the chair. I need a second. Seconded. And any objections? Seeing none. We've also established the INA committee, and we have no chair at this time. Please think about chairing it. All right. Any questions regarding the creation of board committees and chairs? All right. Excellent. That only took us what? 3 months? 3 months to put together? Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on to the approval. Oh, Kalamai, before we get here. So we had gotten an email last month from a few other neighborhood boards. Let me just pull it up here. Asking us to participate in a resiliency joint neighborhood board meeting on October 22nd regarding hurricane preparedness, because we cannot withstand a category 2, 3, 4, or 5 hurricane with the current infrastructures that we have here, according to the data. Chair would like us to support their resolution that is in its current form, which I don't have a copy of, but we could support this in like the summary in theory, and as they make adjustments over time, we can revisit it. I don't know that we need to take action on this, and it's also not agendized. So I guess I'm just making a secondary announcement that, yeah, because we can't put together a permitted action group for this either, correct? Even though this isn't it's not a community input scenario, we would still need to have it agendized. We can't do a quorum vote to add it to the agenda. Well,
Jesse, can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
The chair got a communication from who?
Sorry, Uncle John, can you say that again? I'm having a hard time hearing.
The chair got a communication about this from whom?
From Dr. Keone Dudley. So this is from the vice chair of the Makakilo Kapolei Honokai Hale neighborhood board, and they're doing a joint neighborhood board meeting to be held in the Honouliuli Middle School cafeteria in East Kapolei on October 22nd. We're all invited to come, but they were looking for some support directly as a neighborhood board, which we could support them in,
So
newer future versions of whatever their resolution is going to be.
So anybody can attend. There's no sunshine law involvement or permitted interaction group.
Nope. So as
associated
long as we're not inputting on behalf of neighborhood board. If you want to attend as a community member, then you're definitely welcome to attend, and you can state that you're on the neighborhood board, but you're not you're not there in a neighborhood board capacity. But yes, you could totally attend. I plan to attend myself.
Okay,
Um,
that's good. So when was that letter received?
So we got this email in on September 9th and we discussed it in our September meeting. So
Okay.
I was
And-
hoping to have this agendized. Unfortunately, it did not make the agenda for this meeting, but this
Okay.
will be the first meeting of many as they're
Okay.
preparing this resolution. So we can support them in whatever they come up with on October 22nd, because there'll be revisions that will occur.
So whatever is produced from this meeting can come back to us. Yeah.
Yes, it will come back to us. The revisions will come back to us for further support.
So really, maybe the only thing to do is to just forward the letter to board members, so that we all know the date and have some context, and just leave it at that.
So NCO can distribute in the Google Drive, and then
Yeah.
everybody can take a look and decide whether they want to go or not. But again, if you go, you can state that you're on our neighborhood board, but not making decisions for neighborhood board.
Okay.
Everybody good with that? Okay. Do you need me to give the details again of what I can see here? October 22nd at Honouliuli Middle School cafeteria. Sorry, I'm reading in here and I don't have my glasses for the time. Do you see the time in here?
Wait, but you're going to send the letter.
We're going to send it, but I just want to state it for the record as well. You know what? Actually, the time is not in here. So I will follow up with Dr. Dudley and see if I can get a little bit more info on that.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, great. Approval of our Wednesday, September 10th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Huh? Someone gave you corrections? Okay, you have a correction, Kupoli? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. What page? Okay, and can you say it in the mic, Kupoli, just because we need it louder for,
My bad, page 2.
I believe NCO got several corrections as well, so she'll go over those and then we can discuss those.
Yeah, so it was number 3, filling of the vacancy on the board. Kaimuki Middle, 8th grade. Thank you.
Thank you. There's some small sweet treats on the table as well, brownies and cookies, I believe. Anybody else, board members in person, you have corrections to the minutes? Uncle Art, you have a correction for the minutes?
I'm the treasurer, right?
Yes.
What's the budget?
We don't do a budget, Uncle Art. But we're doing the minutes right now. If you have a question about what we have for what's like available funding, you mean, for things we need?
In the past, there was a budget.
Yeah, so
Given to the treasurer.
yeah, they've changed that, so there's no budget anymore. If we need things, it's more of like putting in a request for the things that we need, and then NCO will approve it accordingly.
So if we wanted to purchase or do something,
Then we'll just put in a request to Rachel and she'll put it in for NCO. Okay.
okay,
Thanks,
thank
Uncle
you.
Art. Board members online, did you folks go through the minutes and note changes that we needed to make? Uncle Ken, go ahead.
All right. Yes, I did. Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. I emailed Rachel all my corrections. My name was not spelled correctly.
Okay.
Although I do like that spelling.
Rachel's got the highlighted. So,
Okay, and wait. Did you guys correct Sergeant Douglas?
right there, you have it highlighted. the Dougal.
Okay, and then going down.
So Rachel's got a bunch of notes. Just go ahead and read yours off and she can just check if she has it. And then
Well,
we
if you
will.
just take a look, okay, the highlighted ones, the yellow ones, okay. There's my name misspelled again, and then we have 3 Machados on the board according to this. Okay.
Okay.
You got Machado, and then you got A Machado and K Machado. So we got to get rid of one of the Machados, preferably without an initial.
All
And then
right.
going down. Okay, another misspelling of my name. Rachel knows how to spell my name. She can correct it. And now,
Yeah.
this is the one I like. Did somebody correct Hygienic State Park?
No such thing.
I really,
State
I
Okay,
kind of
park.
want to leave
it's
it. I'm not
supposed to
gonna
be
lie.
Hagia
I just
State
like to
Park.
leave it there. Yeah, I like
No,
that
it
though.
is.
Okay, so
it's-
Rachel's gonna fix that.
Well, I
It's
thought I
called-
did a double take when I saw it.
All
Okay, moving
right.
on. There's 2 of them, by the way. Okay, who is artist? We have no indication who artist
Oh my
is,
gosh,
but
Uncle
6
Ken,
and
without the
7.
theatrics, so we can go home. Okay, yes, artists will be fixed.
I know. Fix it. I don't know. But now here's the other thing: is Ahuimanu Road and Kamehameha Highway. Ahuimanu Road never intersects with Kamehameha Highway. That's Kaikili Highway.
Okie dokie.
Okay, moving down. Okay, and then the Machado here's because I believe I think this should be Art. Isn't this what Art said? So there needs to be. We have 2 Machados on. We need to have an initial when attributed to a Machado. That's all. You guys
This was
figure it out.
This was
Okay,
Keone.
moving on.
That was Keone, by the way.
Okay, and then here's another one. Youth engagement. I think this one was Art. Maybe the other one was Keone. So figure this one out. Moving
That's
on.
Keone. Keone for this
Keone
member
again?
Machado. Yep, Keone again.
Okay. Okay, now this is an interesting one. Okay, they're both citing the same information, but it's presented in 2 different ways. And it really needs to be reconciled. So if you guys can just reconcile that, and it's between you and Christy, about the 11 million gallons versus
Yep.
5
So
million for the golf
in
course.
this scenario, we're just gonna have to defer to the recording because I can't talk to Auntie Christie about any work stuff right now. So
That's true. Okay, so anyway,
so
moving
Auntie
right
Christie
along.
also, she didn't state that that was the average. She said she thought it was and that she was gonna follow up. So I guess if we can just change stated to thought or believed, then that would work fine.
Or strike the
Right.
whole
Now,
sentence.
anyway, whatever the way you reconcile it is fine, but it's there. And then I
Okay.
think,
All
here
right.
we
Hygienic
have
State Park. I
Hygienic
love it.
State Park.
All right. That should be Heia. Excellent. Moving on.
Okay, moving on.
Okay. And
Oh,
that's
I
it.
think
All
that's
right.
it. Thank you.
So, and do I have a motion to
So
pass
move.
the minutes as amended?
So move.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Waikia.
Hey, Vice Chair. I just want a friendly amendment to change my present. I was present for last board meeting in September. But I had emailed Rachel about this.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're good to go then? You made the motion. Can I get a second on Uncle Dan's motion to approve the minutes as amended? Seconded. Any objections to approving the September minutes as amended? Excellent. Moving on. Sorry, I need to get back into the right part of my agenda. Who's calling somebody? All right, sub-district reports. Sub-district 1, anything? Nothing?
No.
Okay, sub-district 2. Nothing. Sub-district 3. Sub-district 4.
Nothing.
Subdistrict 5.
I
Nothing.
attended the Huimanu Homeowners Association meeting, which takes place once a year. And I invited all of them to come to our neighborhood board. And I suggest that all of you do the same thing wherever you're a member. If it deals with our community, invite people to come to the board meeting.
What's that meeting, Uncle Dan? The Hui what?
It's the 280 homes that are right down the street from Huimanu Place inside.
Okay.
And there are 280 homes, and it's the Huimanu Homeowners Association.
Oh, that's nice.
AHA.
Okay, great. Where were we? 5. Anybody else in 5? YK, anything for 5? 6. Kupoli, anything for 6? All right, moving on in our agenda. Announcements. Charter revisions of the City and County of Honolulu Community Information Sessions will occur at Neil S. Blaisdell Center in the Pikake Room on October 8th at 6 p.m., which is now, so we missed that one. Kaiser High School Cafeteria tomorrow, Thursday, October 9th at 6 p.m. Waipahu High School Cafeteria, Monday, October 13th at 6 p.m. Windward Community College, Tuesday, October 14th at 6 p.m. Nana Kuli Public Library, Wednesday, October 15th, 7 p.m. Mililani High School Cafeteria, Thursday, October 16th at 6 p.m. Sunset Beach Elementary School Cafeteria, Friday, October 17th at 7 p.m. Salt Lake District Park, Tuesday, October 21st, 2025, 6 p.m. Online via Zoom, Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. And the link will be coming soon. Our next regular neighborhood board meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, November 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at Key Project, and we are adjourned at 8:01.
Mahalo. Take care. Aloha.
Take care. Have a good meeting.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
Right on.
Great
Aloha,
day.
everybody.
Incredibles.